Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Absolute Comics, the greatest comic book podcast in existence on planet X.
That's right.
You always have to throw a caveat, then they can't argue with us.
And they can't. I mean, they will anyway, but why not?
Yeah. This is the show where I sit with Sal and we talk about everything going on in the world of comics. And then if we have time or big news comes up, we talk about other things. But a lot of times we talk about comics. So, Sal.
Yes.
I did what I said I was going to do.
Wow.
Do you remember what I said I was going to do for one of these shows, and then I skipped a week?
Yeah, you were going to do that X-Men video.
Well, I did. Okay, I'll tell you that. I spent an hour and a half straight explaining every X-Men event.
Yes.
Oh my God, do they lose that island and everyone dies so many times?
Oh my God, yeah.
It was so painful to record all of that in a sitting, but it just turned. But when I realized what was going on, I'm recording this video. It's an hour and a half of audio of me naming it. And because I was doing it in one sitting, my brain was like looking for ways to entertain myself as I'm doing it. So I just started getting when you guys see the video, you'll hear it. I'm almost losing my mind as I'm going through. And I start throwing in random things like, and then Wolverine died because of course he did. And then Cyclops did this because of course he did. You know, I'm losing my mind as the stories are going. And by the time we get to Fall of X, Andy put the bare bones notes in there because Fall of X isn't done. And I'm like, and now we're at Fall of X, where they're going to conclude every plot from Krakoa, and Mr. Sinister is at Xavier's head, and there's one giant robot, maybe two giant robots. It doesn't matter. It's the end of Fall of X, and when I'm recording this, it's not even over yet. So
there it is.
That's where I was at Fall of X. I'm like,
fair.
That's the end of the video.
Was the other thing that you read Poison Ivy?
Yes, that was the thing.
Yay! How is it?
Actually incredible. I see why this book is still going.
Yeah.
So the concept is Poison Ivy remembers the road trip, Dr. Woodrow, everything that they've made for her history.
Right on.
So they're not doing that thing where they're kind of like soft rebooting and it's all in her history. They all brought it up. She's traveling the country trying to create outbreaks of a fungal infection that will overtake the states. And she constantly brings up, I got to do this before the Bat family finds me. I got to do this before the Bat family finds me.
Oh, they're pretty busy. So
yeah, well, and that's kind of what the logic she's working off of.
That's awesome. I love it.
They can't get out. I'm currently in the Midwest. They're still at Gotham. They're not going to know I'm here.
Yeah.
But
I got at least a couple hours.
The first 6 issues are really good. It is the story of her traveling the country, and she's also infected with the fungus, so she's getting she's starting to hallucinate. And so when it turns around, and the Dr. Woodrow character is like the actual villain trying to manipulate what she's doing, and all that stuff, she starts to hallucinate Batman giving her advice. So it's like you get Batman in the Poison Ivy story, but it's a Batman who's just her.
Yeah, it's Ivy's ideal Batman. Right. I kind of love that.
So you're dealing with that. And then what you could tell the series is supposed to end there because she wraps up the plot.
Right.
And she's been writing a note this whole time, and she sent it to Harley, and Harley's on her way over. And then the series takes a 2-issue kind of just jump so that obviously they could set up what they're doing next.
Totally.
And so that's where I am. I haven't gone all the way through Poison Ivy yet because it's also DC needs to fix this. I can get issues 1 through 12 under one category, and then 13 is its own category. 14 is its own category. They're all set. They're not in the book.
Yeah.
Which is why is this set up this way? But I really recommend the Poison Ivy book if you're interested. It's hard to explain because the way it is an eco-terrorist trying to take over the world. I mean, that's what the plot is. It sounds like every indie book.
Yeah. Well, it is G. Will Wilson. That makes sense.
But the art is incredible. It's insane. Let me see if I can pull up some interesting panels that I still they're twisted and they're all over the place, and it's just so good looking.
Yeah. This is Marcio Takara, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, I like their work.
So this one in particular, this is obviously you guys get the ads. It's also funny if you guys haven't done this, if you go read through old stuff and you see ads for things like Black Adam's going to be the next big thing. And
I know. Watch out for Lazarus Planet. I'll be sure to do that.
But look at this art. This is the guest artist that came in.
Nice.
But this horrific look right there. This right here is Poison Ivy. That is just
fun.
That's with the body horror. It's great.
Please. That's great. Yeah. Good use of Poison Ivy. Yeah.
And like that's what makes this story just so good. Like here was the conclusion to the original series that she did. And this is the original artist you were talking about in here.
Yeah.
I just got to go back to when she's poison ivied out. She's always wearing that like I mean, just look at this.
That's awesome. Look at that panel
It's
work.
just so good. The artwork is so good. The paneling is so good. The text is really good because she's narrating her story as she goes because she's writing it to Harley Quinn.
Right. This is a letter.
This is her plan to finally get rid of Dr. Woodrow after defeating him. She's
cool.
like, he will regrow, so I will eat him.
Ugh.
That'll get rid of him. Yeah. But I mean, it's a horror book. It's a horror book with poison ivy. It's Batman as a hallucination. Like, look at his face right here.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's just so good.
Yeah. This is cool.
Yeah. So I actually really recommend Poison Ivy. I see why it's been allowed to go this many issues.
Yeah.
So
I also believe it's nominated for an Eisner, so keep an eye out for this.
It's really good. Really, really good. I'm excited because now they've implied Harley's on her way over. So I'm excited to see how they're going to start tying that together.
That's so smart that they were like, she definitely set that up where she's like, if this continues, like I won't have Harley overshadow Ivy or make the book about Harley and Ivy for the series that it probably will survive to be. Right. And then if it extends past its like maxi series length, then we'll bring in Harley and it'll be a completely new book. It's like, that's great.
It's kind of what they're doing. Like they did a 2-issue thing where they kind of wrapped up a loose plot thread they intentionally left hanging.
Yes.
And then it wrapped it up. So now we're moving into the next kind of phase of what the Poison Ivy thing. So I'm excited to see where this whole story is going to go, though. Like I expected to read Poison Ivy, get 3 issues in and be like, nah, I'm good. I tried it.
Yeah. But no.
Yeah.
I love that.
You know what I won't I won't read just to spite the people that are chat who keep telling me to. I'm not going to read Penguin. I'm not going
I am reading Penguin for them and it's great.
It's
sick how good
it is. If you say it's good, I got to read it.
Tom King. He knows what he's doing.
Okay, I saw an ad in one of these Poison Ivies for a Tom King book. Did he do a book that came out about Dr. Fate?
He did a book called Danger Street. It also it featured a lot of characters. Dr. Fate is one of them.
Well, his helmet was the one that was
his helmet's really the most, well, just basically like Dr. Fate being in the book because Dr. Fate's nobody.
So is it worth it though? Is it worth reading? Because like, if it's Dr. Fate, even helmet centric, I'm excited to try it out.
Oh yeah, no, Danger Street's cool. I would read it all in one sitting. I haven't yet. I read the first 3 issues.
As much as I love Tom King's work, you have to read it in a sitting.
Well, some of them, like Penguin, you can read month to month, and it's like, oh, this is so cool. Human Target, that's all you could do, and that was frustrating, but also amazing. But Gotham City Year One, another phenomenal series. But with Danger Street, I had to wait. I was just like, I'll wait. I'll pick this up as a hardcover or something.
I mean, what was Human Target about? What was that one?
Human Target was about Chris Chance, the Human Target, a character who impersonated other characters and kind of like took their place if they were hunted or targeted for extermination, and then as a detective, like figured out why and then brought them to justice, or at least to their clients. This is a story where Chris Chance is poisoned while he is impersonating Lex Luthor. Okay. So he knows that Lex Luthor was going to be assassinated, but now he's dying instead. And so he has, according to the poison, like 12 days to live. And so or I don't remember how long it is, but it's like, let's say it's like a couple of weeks to live. And so he has that amount of time to solve his own murder before he dies. And it's during the Justice League International period. So like, the main prominent Justice League characters you'll see are like Booster Gold, Blue Beetle, Ice, Fire.
Okay.
And
I'll definitely check it out finally. Since we started that additional channel, which gets its official announcement on Friday. Yes. One of the big pitches I have like coming over and checking it is like literally I'm doing books you will probably never get to see on Comic Story. If they do well, they're going over there. You're not going to miss out if it's a good video. Yeah. But like obscure shit, like I'm going to do the Energon series, G.I. Joe. And Transformers, because I want to know what's happening with that, and I want to bring it to people.
Yeah, you got to avoid rivals and all that stuff.
But like, and the wording I used for the other channel was, and the reason is simple: because of the anxiety I get picking stuff from main Comic Storian, I can't put 90% of this stuff on Comic Storian for fear of it tanking the channel. But I can do a dump channel where I can put whatever the fudge I can read.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, and just like that Suicide Squad Dream Team, which we're putting up real soon.
I remember you were hyping that book up. Yeah.
So Chad is asking if G.I. Joe Chess Orb is obscure. If it
No.
doesn't say DC or Marvel in the terms of the comic book world, they're obscure.
Yeah, they're not obscure. They just don't. They don't track as far
Yeah.
as comic book YouTube videos are concerned. Like
Right.
we don't do most of those books because people just you all don't care.
Well, no, that's exactly what I worded in the phrase. Like, most of you didn't care when we tried to do things like this, but I
Yeah.
still want to do them. So, and I
Yeah.
think the final
Yeah.
pitch was like, we're doing 24 issues of Poison Ivy. You would never see that in Comic Story.
Exactly. But you could branch out, like, yeah. But Human Target, that's one that's like that should be done. It's a really cool book, and and people were talking about it. It wasn't just like, oh, it's this random book that nobody read. Like, it was
Right.
a book that was on a lot of lists. People really enjoyed it, but also the large ongoing. You'd have to be very careful about how you title it to like effectively trick the comic book viewing audience into checking that book out.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Which is a
and that's
shame.
what I don't want to do. I'm tired of tricking people into watching a video. Like today's Godzilla 7. There's a very minor moment in it, but it's kind of a spoiler where King Kong gets the Green Lantern ring. And I was going to make that the thumbnail and title.
Of course, that's how you get people.
We're going to change that in about a week to that. And all I did was Godzilla versus Superman, and it's over.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That should be enough.
I didn't want to spoil it. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
So,
no, makes sense.
all right. On the topic here, so we can keep moving since I'm on a tight timetable today. Marvel is set to release a month of Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe variant covers in the month of July leading up to the release of the movie. These variants will span 20 comics. You know,
Right.
I'm actually kind of impressed that Marvel has not milked that more than they have.
Deadpool is a weird brand for Marvel Comics. Obviously, in the movies, it's gold. Obviously, in the comics 30 years ago, it was gold. I don't understand what it is about today, about the last 10 years for Deadpool. The only theory I have, and it's a frustratingly sad one, is that they poisoned the well. That there were too many lackluster, unexciting runs for Deadpool in a row that people just don't read the book. Like when Deadpool comes out, people go, "Oh, let me guess," and then they drop in some expectation of what they've done with the Deadpool license at comics, and they just don't read it.
As a person who does read all the Deadpool books, like I've read them all, okay? I do find it weird that he doesn't sell because, in my opinion, Deadpool's not as good as it was when Jerry Dugan was writing it, but he wrote like 100-issue run. Like he did a full run of that.
Right.
Like, but I also don't think Deadpool's been bad.
No.
Like
it's
he
just
had
been
an entire arc.
that.
That's what I mean. It hasn't been a bad book. Kelly Thompson, I believe, is the one that wrote the Monster Island, where he was like king of the monsters.
Right.
And he worked with Elsa Bloodstone, and that got canceled. And I'm like, this is a cool concept to
Cool
evolve
book.
Deadpool to something else.
Hell, just the most recent one where Deadpool had a Carnage symbiote. That's a pitch. That's a pitch that's like, you can imagine Tom Brevoort just being like, ho, 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 and then no one effing read it.
That's what I mean. Like, everyone was complaining about it. I mean, I saw the right-wing people being all butthurt because there was a non-binary character in it.
They don't buy comics anyway, so it doesn't matter. But
they don't.
like,
So
the thing about Deadpool...
But what I'm saying is, other than that, everyone loved it. It was Deadpool trying to go on dates with a Carnage dog. It was like, how is this a bad idea? This is a great idea.
It's a cool concept. I don't understand it, but Deadpool's a weird book. I wonder how the Deadpool Wolverine book is selling. It's only had one issue so far as the taping of this episode, but like that one with Joe Kelly, a classic, formative Deadpool writer on board with, I believe, Andy Kubert, if not Adam Kubert drawing it. I don't remember which Kubert it is, but if you get a Kubert on your book, you got an A+ book. But that book was cool looking, and
the story was actually really good, and I'm surprised it's only 3 issues.
I know. Well,
they're only doing 3. It's probably just because of Joe Kelly. But I'm surprised they didn't will swap people out and do another one. Like,
I mean, like, honestly, I think it's because they're like gun shy. I think they're like, it would be irresponsible of us not to make a Deadpool and Wolverine comic on the shelves when Deadpool and Wolverine is out in theaters. However, we also know that apparently, unlike its complement over at DC, like a Harley Quinn book, making a Deadpool book is a risk. So
I don't understand why they don't do. Like, remember Deadpool Spider-Man?
Yeah.
That was a great series. I don't know why.
And that was Joe Kelly too. How could that book get canceled? Like,
it went to 50 issues and they just ended it. Like, why?
I don't understand that.
The current Deadpool book's really good, though. He's keeping the Carnage dog.
Yes.
And he's teaming up with Taskmaster. So it's like, okay, we're just going back to a classic Deadpool plot, but he's got a Carnage dog.
I mean, like,
it's like you said, the Carnage dog writes itself. That better still be in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't understand why Deadpool doesn't sell the way it does, except to say that the last few runs in a row were less than exciting, or that they
I mean,
didn't
there's
have
only been
name
2 though. It was
recognition.
the King of the Monsters and the
Yeah,
Deadpool dog, the Carnage
yeah.
dog. Those are the only 2 we've had
And now
since
that
the Jerry Dugan run.
and with Kelly Thompson being an Eisner nominated writer multiple times over this year, I imagine she'll win one of them. And as a result, her, brand value will increase. Not to say she wasn't a great writer before. She is, and she always has been, but maybe that'll get more eyes on her run on Deadpool, and maybe that'll help to inflate the Deadpool run a little better. I don't know. I don't know how the metrics work on that, but
Yeah, it's just
it's
been so
weird.
weird. Well, they also this is the part I also found weird. When Jerry Dugan ended his run, they just, like, put him on hiatus for
Yeah, they just
years.
stopped.
Yeah.
It's
They were
weird,
like,
right? Like,
"No Deadpool stories, we're good."
right, like even Deadpool didn't even play an active role during the Secret Wars after they canceled it. He got that Deadpool Secret Wars, which is just a retcon book.
Yeah.
Like, what a weird decision, you know? Like
Is
Deadpool
it
was not they're not treating Deadpool like the fourth pillar of the Marvel universe the way they do with Harley over at DC, because both of them are head scratchers, right? Like I don't understand why Harley should be a pillar of DC outside of the fact that she sells merchandise. It's really that. It's not even like she sells books. Her books
I
sell
mean,
well
honestly,
enough,
I
but
kinda feel like that's where Wonder Woman is too. Like, you never see Wonder Woman cracking the top 50, and I think it's
no,
more
what
merchandise and recognizability of
yeah,
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman is the original female superhero. That's
Yeah.
why she is even in circulation. And it's certainly why Tom King's writing it. Not that
Yeah.
he didn't want to, but it's why they asked him in the first place, is because they're like, we need to put someone exciting on the book. Otherwise, if we just made a Wonder Woman book, just go, oh, ladies and gentlemen, obviously with this new initiative of DC, whatever the new DC thing was, Dawn of DC, we're doing a new Batman, a new Superman, and a new Wonder Woman. It wasn't just they couldn't just say, oh, and it's just going to be whoever. Like, it's got to
No.
be someone at least controversial, if not exciting. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how fickle comic book readers can be, because Deadpool, Wonder Woman, these are brands that are established and are ubiquitous. Everybody knows who Deadpool is. Everybody knows who Wonder Woman is. It would stand to reason people would buy them. I mean, why do people buy Batman? It's not because he's relatable, and it
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
because he's like cool. I mean, he is cool, but no more cool than Spider-Man, and Batman outsells Spider-Man every time in comics. So why does Wonder Woman not reach that level? Wonder Woman is or can be cool. It's weird. Deadpool is
Yeah.
always cool. He's indisputably cool, and yet his
I
books
mean, well, and
sell.
they and his miniseries sell. Deadpool Kills the Universe, Trilogy, Deadpool, Night of the Living Deadpool. Like, these all
Yes,
do well.
those
Why
those oddball, out of continuity, like self-contained
they
original
did a
series
series
of
of
Deadpool
Deadpool
sell.
Deadpool versus name it. Like, he had a fight
Yes,
against them.
yeah, those are smart moves. But the thing that made Deadpool, outside of him appearing in like New Mutants and X Force, is his mini series.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the way to do it. Is just to be like, we're not doing an ongoing Deadpool book. It's just Deadpool issues 1 through 4 until he's self-sustaining, and then we can make him an ongoing series.
I mean, well, he's got the ongoing and the miniseries right now, so
Yeah. Which I think is asking a lot, but the Deadpool Wolverine book, that's a separate thing. I wouldn't necessarily classify that as a Deadpool spin-off book. That's a Deadpool / Wolverine branding initiative.
yeah, to
But
go with the
either
movie
way.
that they know is gonna do well.
Yeah.
Question for you. We talked about this on our Spider-Man thing, but let's go ahead since we're talking about Marvel right now.
Yeah, Marvel.
Amazing Spider-Man. Zeb Wells, look, I was on board with most of his work until Gang War. Gang War was like, dude,
Gang,
what are you? And now since Gang War, I felt like this book's been directionless. I haven't read
it's
50 yet because it drops tomorrow, but it feels like since Gang War, we've just talk about Ben Reilly again.
oh my
Set up
god.
Blood Hunt.
Yep. The last 2 issues have been Blood Hunt tie-ins. Or at least the last one.
Do you think that that with the reaction that Zeb Wells' Amazing Spider-Man is going to make 100 issues or more?
Yeah. Yeah, the book sells. The problem is the book is terrible. Like, it is, I'm sorry. And not to say that, like, if you like it, you have bad taste. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that from my point of view, like anything I say when it comes out of my mouth, it's my opinion. But for whatever
Right.
reason, language is diminished to the point where I need to say it's my opinion every time I say an opinion. But that being said, Amazing Spider-Man is a terrible book, and I loathe it. And every time I give it a shot, I am punished. And it's not for lack of talent, because Zeb Wells isn't a bad writer.
No, he's
And
written a
neither
lot of
is
good stuff.
right? Neither is Nick Spencer. Neither is Dan Slott. Neither is like anyone who's been writing Spider-Man and has been doing weird, confusing, uncomfortable, or boring or uninteresting stuff with Spider-Man. Because I would argue Amazing Spider-Man has been pretty lame or bad, like between lame and bad for over a decade. And
I like
I
Dan Slott's run, but it was weird to move into Parker Industries.
yeah,
I
but
felt like
that
that was an
was
arc that went way too long.
right, but that was the last decade.
Yeah.
Like Dan Slott's
Oh, yeah, I
run
see what you're saying,
was
yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
And I liked some of Dan Slott's run, and even but Dan Slott also was smart enough and powerful enough to be like, I'm gonna switch gears. You know, like it's not just gonna be weird and confusing and kind of nebulous. Like Nick Spencer's run. I like Nick Spencer. I think he's a great job. And I definitely believe in what he was trying to do secretly, which was bring back the marriage, undo sins past, undo one more day, like fix problems, like fix the Harry Osborn of it all, like clean up Spider-Man's history. But the problem is, and it's what any writer, any established writer who asks an aspiring writer for advice, they'll tell you, you got to make your own run. You got to you cannot go into a character or a book or a plan with the intent of fixing what happened before. You have to tell your story. And the story that because what was everyone's question when Nick Spencer was writing it? Who is Kindred? But every new arc there was some weird derivation or deviation that moved on to away from the Kindred thing. And it's because like that the only thing people cared about was like the central question, the big mystery, who is Kindred? To the point where most people don't even know who Kindred was because they fell off by the time it actually ended up ending. And it's not his fault, and it's none of these people's fault. It's the editorial. Like it is simply the editor on Spider-Man, and it's his powers, it's his overlords that make Spider-Man bland.
I mean, right now we've got Spider-Men, which I find way better than Amazing Spider-Man.
It's easily better, but it can be. It's why Chip Zdarsky is not writing Amazing Spider-Man right now, folks, because he in a Reddit AMA was asked like, why aren't you on Amazing Spider-Man, or when were you going to take over Amazing Spider-Man? He's like, that book is too big. It has too many cooks in the kitchen, and I want to tell my story. I don't want to tell editorial story.
I wonder if that's why he took Batman, because DC's in a weird spot where there's like nobody in the kitchen.
Yeah,
and it was like Chip's like, wait, so I can come in and just do whatever I want with Batman, anything.
Let me see if I understand the math here. I can go to Spider-Man, and whatever I do will be quashed by editorial, and I'll still get death threats. Or I can go to Batman, make double the money. I can be the #1 selling book every single week that it comes out, and I can do whatever the hell I want because there essentially is no one awake at the wheel right now. Gee, well, let me weigh the pros and cons, because that's the real problem is that like even like it's weird. It's always baffling to me. This is a really quick tangent, but like that Spider-Man fans are the quickest ones to do the least Spider-Man thing ever, like issue death threats or make weird, horrible comments about anything. I'm like, you call yourself Spider-Man? Peter Parker would hate you, right? Like,
right, yeah.
Weird. But yeah, I don't know. I don't blame Zeb. I also don't like Zeb Wells' work. Like, I'm not saying that he's a bad writer. It ain't for me. Like, Hellions is a good book that I don't like. I can understand the difference.
I think the weird part, I think, this is my opinion, I don't think Zeb Wells' hate is fully warranted. But I do think it's a combination of everything going on with Spider-Man comics right now. Yeah. Where the best Spider-Man comic right now, in my opinion,
elsewhere
it's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
And it's Miles. The Miles
Ultimate.
And
Ultimate.
Oh, and Ultimate. Yeah, Ultimate's new-ish. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but Ultimate outsells Amazing every single week that Ultimate comes out.
No, I agree. I'm not saying Ultimate's bad, but I'm saying leading up to issue 50, we had 45 issues of Amazing
Pre-Ultimate,
Spider-Man.
It was Miles.
Yeah, Miles was the best book, and then you had Superior Spider-Man, which was Dan Slott's thing, but I don't even know what the hell Dan Slott's... And he's toting the Return of Superior, and I'm like, dude, we are on issue 7, and you haven't even gotten close to revealing how he's coming back.
Two things. One, Dan is completely all in on Bailey. That is his Miles Morales. As far as Dan Slott's concerned, Superior Spider-Man, no. I don't own Doc Ock. I do own Bailey. He is as tethered to Bailey as Bendis would be to Miles. That is his baby. And he is like, I am going to force feed this character into relevance until you choke on it. Like that is going to be my and he knows but he knows Spider-Boy it's a spin-off book, people seem to like it, whatever, but it's not going to sell, it's not going to outsell Amazing Spider-Man, it's certainly not going to outsell Superior Spider-Man, and he understands Superior Spider-Man is what essentially the by and large Spider-Man reading audience likes Dan Slott for. Like everybody by and large digs Dan Slott's Superior Spider-Man. So of course Dan Slott coming on to Superior Spider-Man is going to make people excited, but if he doesn't have a vested interest in Superior Spider-Man, and he does have a dog in this race when it comes to Bailey, he's going to shoehorn Bailey into this book and make Superior Spider-Man a secret Bailey book, which it is. And that's whether you like that or not.
About the Superior Spider-Man is he got to do Spider-Man, and then he ran that until like issue 12. Then he's like, now it's Superior Spider-Man. I'm like, oh, cool. You're gonna get back to it within an issue or two.
Yeah,
we are 7 issues of what I believe is an 8-issue run.
Right.
We have no sign of a Superior Spider-Man officially coming back.
There's Superior Spider-Boy, like Bailey
Spider-Boy
is Doc Ock, kind of, but so is everybody. Like, isn't everybody Doc Ock right now?
That's what's going on. Like, everyone got infected as Doc Ock, but you know what they haven't brought up? A Peter Parker clone, somebody dying on Doc Ock's watch. Anything that would make him Superior Spider-Man has not happened, other than Peter putting on the suit.
Well, the thing is, he can't, because if it's in continuity, it has to affect what Zeb Wells' run is doing, and if Peter is going to get taken over by Doc Ock, he has to coordinate with Zeb, and Peter's going to have to be Doc Ock during that run, so he's not gonna.
I just thought they were going to do another clone deal. Like, Doc Ock got another clone.
I mean, yeah, that makes the most sense, and I think that if there's going to be another Superior book, maybe that's when he finally does it. I wouldn't bet on it, but I would assume that the marketing will be, now you're going to get the Superior Spider-Man you asked for. This third chapter of my Superior Spider-Man post-Superior Spider-Man run, which is essentially going to be, and I can imagine it being, that Bailey will be Superior Spider-Man's sidekick.
Right.
Because Peter doesn't want one, and he shouldn't have one, and Bailey shouldn't exist. But, that's what they're doing with, and of course, there's also, the reason why Miles is so good, and why people love it so much, is because editorial doesn't regard that book. Like, they're just like, well, just do whatever you want. And, gee willikers, who'd have thought that a creator who has, like, a passion for the character and is allowed to do whatever they want to, especially compared to its flagship book, Amazing, it's going to be better.
It's been so much better. I love what Cody Siegel is doing with the Miles book.
Yeah, he gets to do whatever the hell he wants with the character, as opposed to Peter, where it's like, whoa. Like, suddenly, Kevin Feige has an opinion about what happens to Peter in the books. That's going to be a problem. It's going to muck up the works. Right. Although if I were Kevin Feige and I picked up one issue of Amazing Spider-Man over the last year, I'd go, you need to fix this book because it's confusing and terrible and weird. And when it isn't editorially mandated, like when Zeb Wells gets to be Zeb Wells, it's just gross and weird. Like it's very much a Zeb Wells book, which is also just antithetical to what I think Spider-Man books should be. After Beyond, it was an option of between Zeb Wells and Kelly Thompson. Oops.
I think Kelly Thompson probably, in the end, could have written a much better book.
She is like, I dodged a bullet not getting Amazing Spider-Man, let me tell you, because now I'm nominated for like 2 or 3 Eisners, and I get to reinvigorate the Birds of Prey franchise, which is a demonstrably better book than Amazing Spider-Man. And
I gotta read that.
I could always come back and just do Amazing Spider-Man anyway. And have more power because, I'm Eisner Award-winning writer Kelly Thompson. Like, and this is, of course, all preemptive. She could lose if it was, a cruel and unjust universe, which, of course, it is. But we'll see.
So, I was bookmarking Bears of Prey to look into that because I already have 800 books. Dude, it's become an issue having the new channel where I'm just putting out whatever comic I want because I'm literally so many books I'm trying to read. I'm so many books I'm trying to read. I downloaded the book The Hunger and the Dusk because it got
so good.
Yeah, it's you. It was you. You did it. You got it.
Yeah, Hunger and Dusk is great. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Especially you. No, yeah, we were talking about this at C2E2. You were like, I mentioned Hunger and Dusk. You're like, what is this? I'm like, sexy orcs. You're gonna dig it.
Yeah, because I'm doing that sexy goblin webtoon. And I read the issue 1, and I'm like, I should read this to make sure our plot doesn't match Hunger in the Dusk.
And it's freaking G. Willow Wilson from Poison Ivy, which you, of course, enjoy anyway.
I'm enjoying that as well. All right. So Marvel, the Spider Gwen comes back tomorrow. What was the cover for that? I want to see that. I'll just click the end article. Probably makes the most sense.
I would.
I did see this. I have it pre-ordered for tomorrow because I am a huge Spider-Gwen fan. I literally have an artist drawing of Spider-Gwen right there.
Yes, you do.
There it is. Oh.
They're still pushing the Ghost Spider name, huh? They haven't gotten the memo that no one likes that?
Dan said they changed her shoes.
Oh, she's not wearing. Oh, she is. She's wearing sneakers now.
Yeah. What was she wearing
Alright.
before? I always thought it was
She's wearing-
sneakers.
It was like a ballet. It was like a ballerina kind of like.
Oh,
shoe.
they did that, and they also did the Converse. Those are the two things they did.
Oh, she had that. Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So she's officially moving to the 616. My only question is, why did it take this long for her to officially move to the 616? Oh, that art looks amazing too.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, here.
because her universe is awesome looking and great, and they don't know what to do with it. Like they're either so afraid to do anything with that universe, or
I
they
don't know
can't.
why they don't commit to her universe or just move her.
Yeah, I
Do
don't
one or
know.
the other.
Well, they have now.
Yeah, she's moving over apparently. So
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Weird.
I'm excited for that. I don't know. I've gotten to the point. It's kind of like how I feel with Superman. I love Superman, but unless it was Peter Tomasi or Joshua Williamson writing him, I don't like Superman. But I've always liked everything about Superman's world. And Spider-Man goes back and forth. I like Spider-Man more often than I like Superman. But like right now with Zeb Wells, I find all the ancillary characters much more interesting. Like Miles and Ghost Spider.
Yeah. Well, that's going to happen when you have to like water down your main character.
So Wolverine is coming back with Greg Capullo and Jonathan Hickman partnering up for a miniseries titled Wolverine Revenge, lining up with the new movie and Wolverine's 50th anniversary. He's going to go up against what? What's the oops?
Oh, just oops. This miniseries is going to outsell the main Wolverine title. Oops.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you got Greg Capullo to come back and do art for Wolverine
with Hickman writing it. Oh my god!
And it's called Wolverine Revenge.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I went from literally. I saw the creative team for Wolverine, the ongoing series, and I was like, nope. And then I saw this.
Who is that? Because I actually like Benjamin Percy's writing.
Oh, it ain't done Percy. No, it's
I know he's off after Sabretooth War.
Yeah, it's the dude who writes Daredevil right now.
Oh, I don't like his run. Samalid or something like that.
Saladin Ahmed, I believe.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, let me see.
I wasn't a fan of his. Like his Miles run was okay, but a lot of things he threw in there I didn't like.
Yeah, Saladin Ahmed and Martin Kokolo. I do like Kokolo's work, but I'm gonna pass on Ahmed. But this was like, oh, that's a pre-order. It went from literally like, oh, I got 2 Wolverine books. One is a pass and one's a pre-order.
Yeah. So
awesome.
I'm excited for this. Greg Capullo does amazing stuff, and they're gonna have a red band of this, so that Greg can really just blood and guts everything out.
Yeah, red band? Are you kidding me? Like Greg couldn't do everything he wanted to with Batman, for God's sake, and now he's gonna get to do anything he wants with Wolverine. Like, just take the money.
Next up, we got Deadpool and Wolverine. It's confirmed to be 2 hours and 7 minutes long.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have much to add to that one.
Smart.
Dan put a comparison. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was 2 hours 6 minutes. So,
well, did we talk about the fact that I don't remember where I heard this tidbit that like essentially modern audiences. Oh, that's right. It was another YouTube channel. Are expecting they essentially modern audiences want 90-minute movies.
Yes.
Like they are sick of the commitment of like a 2 hour and 25 plus long movie.
I won't lie. 2.5 hours, 3 hours. My ADD gets the better of me, man. Like I'm just sitting there, like I just want this to end. Like I'm enjoying it, but I want it to end.
Sometimes like you'll be scrolling through movies with your friends and you'll go like, and it'll be 8 or 9 p.m. and you go, I mean, this one's 72 minutes. Let's watch that. And it will be a movie that kind of like sucks. Like the movie that I watched this weekend, which was literally like, that was, I had like I had a passing interest, but it was short. And so I'm like, welp, now I'm going to see it.
Yeah, well, I've actually done that on quite a few movies. As a matter of fact, last night, Natalie and I were kind of getting together at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and we were going through the movies, and we had been waiting for Godzilla Kong to come out. And it was under 2 hours. And we're like, let's watch Godzilla Kong because it's under 2 hours. Which, by the way, the movie's incredible, and I knew it was going to be, but...
Of course. For the record, the movie was Body at Brighton Rock. It sucked, but whatever. But also, Deadpool Wolverine being 2 hours and 6 minutes, that's a sweet spot. I think that's a sweet spot when it comes to franchise tentpole movies. I mean, Deadpool Wolverine is like, people are going to be supping upon this delicacy for the greater part of a year. Right? Because like it's going to be a while for Fantastic Four and all the other movies to come out. This is it. And you're going to be getting, I believe that Ryan Reynolds has said like, this is essentially, it's a Deadpool Wolverine movie. There'll be cameos and references, but it'll be to itself. And it's not going to be, easily tied in with the greater Marvel. Like, we're not going to be using this as a commercial for another movie. This is
Right.
a movie. So, but people won't be able to help themselves. And Marvel, I think, uses these movies as market research grounds for people to go like, what did everyone react to? What was the thing that we had no intention of doing anything with that everyone thinks is a thing we're going to be doing with it?
Yeah.
Let's see what that is and exploit it.
So, all right, that one's that. And then we have Marvel announces a new Spider Society series, 4-issue limited series spinning out of the Edge of Spider-Verse anthology. I keep forgetting the Edge of Spider-Verse is still going.
Is it really?
I believe it still is, or it just ended again. And then they also have the Edge of Venomverse. Like, they just keep doing this Edge of.
Yeah.
The comic looks like it'll be fun, though. That's according to Dan wrote.
Yeah. I saw the title. I remember I tweeted about it essentially where I was like, this is not why I like Spider-Man, people. I don't like Spider-Man because he is a multiversal constant with 1,000 duplicates.
Yeah.
I don't care.
The Edge of Spider-Verse, they're hoping to get another Spider-Gwen or Penny Parker. You know, they want them. That's what they want.
It's so smart. Actually, that's such a brilliant like scheme that I had not actually considered, which is like, we got to churn out a Spider-Verse anything every couple of years because you never know what spider character they're going to whip up in that universe that will be the next big spider character that everyone's going to spend their money on.
Yeah, I mean, Penny Parker's in the movie and now in the video game, right?
Video game too. Yeah.
And Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, became a whole thing. I mean,
right?
So,
did you fill out the survey for Marvel Rivals?
What do you mean? Which one?
When it was done, you know, like to be like, what were your comments and thoughts?
Oh, I didn't get it yet.
Oh,
yeah. I haven't looked though, so
you should probably look.
All I know is that I got access to it, and if I got to level 10, I get to come back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, if you got to level 10, you get to come back in the next beta.
Oh.
So it'll just work again, so I can just log back in.
That's awesome. Tiffany loved it and really wanted to play more of it, but I don't know what level she was at.
Yeah, it's level 10 was the one you had to hit. It said it in there, so
okay.
It wasn't like a secret thing. If you had clicked all the beta bonuses, you could see it.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling her now.
Tom King returns to Batman for an upcoming Black Label book where Batman will team up with Jenny Sparks of the Authority. Captain Atom has gone rogue and is threatening to destroy Earth, and Batman and Jenny must stop it. If it's a maxi or a mini, I'm on board. If it's Tom King has free reign to do 100 issues, I'm not.
No, it's a mini.
Yeah, I figured it was. So
yeah, I love Jenny Sparks. I love Tom King. I don't love Tom King's Batman. I think that I remember hearing this as a pitch that it was going to be a Jenny Sparks book. I'm certain it'll be a miniseries. I didn't know Batman was going to be in it, but I'm seeing on the page that there are Batman images here. I guess I'm down. I mean,
the design for Batman is a classic Batman too.
Literally, I've only seen Batman interact with like one other Wildstorm character, and it's Deathblow. So I'll take Batman meeting the Authority.
Grifter.
I think also yeah, that's right, Grifter. I forgot about Grifter.
Grifter popped up and was just a part of the Bat family for like.
Grifter was part of. Well, he was a constant in that series for a while. That's right.
He just kept showing up, and you're like, "What is Grifter doing here?"
Yeah, and I think either he or Dick met Midnighter, but
Dick met Midnighter. That was the whole thing that happened during Tom King's run.
Oh my god! This is funny. Okay, yeah, I'm very interested.
Because Midnighter liked Dick's butt. That was the whole thing. It was like their whole thing they were doing.
Who doesn't? But I'm down. I'm down because it's Tom King. It's Jenny Sparks. If Batman's there, fine. You know, I don't hate Tom King on Batman. I hate Tom King's run on Batman. So it's like, you know, Killing Time was better. You know, Penguin is better. Gotham City Year One is better. You know, these are better books than his Batman.
Right.
All right. At least we're not getting into his head. You know, this is a Jenny Sparks book. We're gonna see Batman doing Batman things as opposed to getting into his head and being like, "I wish I were dead." And I'm like, okay.
I can't be happy. Oh, my dad's happy, and my wife's here, but I can't be happy.
Yeah, because my dad hates that I'm Batman and wants me to stop. What?
Yeah. My dad from another dimension.
Yeah. Oh no, this ghost, this phantom, this skinwalker doesn't like what I'm doing.
Right.
You know, the Batman who laughs doesn't like you either. He's you.
And neither does the Zernar.
Right? Stupid.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much everything, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
it's pretty cool.
did you read anything you want to talk about?
Nothing that came out this week. I had no time this week to read anything. I will, this week, but I didn't have time to do any to read any books. As far as books that are out right now that I enjoy, I mean, the Superman House of Brainiac book is fun. I'm digging that.
Okay, you know what? Thank you for bringing that up. What the happened?
What do you mean?
Yeah, okay, Dawn of DC came out and they announced the Brainiac thing was the end. It was being teased. It was all crazy.
Yeah.
Now it's just like a Superman between. It's not even like a big thing. It's just Superman and Action Comics crossover.
Right. Yeah.
Which is barely like a big deal at all.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
now,
no, it
and
seems
now
like absolute power is going to be the thing.
Yeah. Like, what do you think happened? Do you think that they were like, pivot that Brainiac thing? We're going to go absolute power.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what happened. I think they went, I think they either, I
feel like Brainiac was supposed to invade Earth.
Yeah,
it even started with him invading Earth.
Yeah. And then, I don't think that teaser would have been a teaser for a Superman event. I think that would have been a DC centric event.
Yeah.
I don't think, but I don't know. DC is so like funny and so all over the place. I wonder if they even knew what they were going to do,
or they were just like Brainiac. Brainiac will be here by the end.
Well, put the Skull Ship in there. I think Josh wants to do something with Brainiac, so we could at least say that it's tangentially related. I can see that. That would be a shame. But the book is fun, and Rafa Sandoval is doing the work of his career, so you might want to.
No, the book is fun. I'm really enjoying it. You haven't read today's issue, right? But they finally reveal what Brainiac's building.
Oh, cool. Is it a wife?
Yes. It's kind of
because that's who shows up in About Absolute Power. It's spoiled.
Yeah, I know. She doesn't look like that as she does in Absolute Power, and she just. I'm not going to say what she does, but she really over the top. Like, what is going on with this? What did he build?
Awesome. All right. Yeah.
It's awesome enough that I don't want to spoil it for you.
That's great. Great. Yeah.
But normally I love spoiling things for you. So
I know it's true. It's true. Yeah. Yeah. We are actually going to be in a very lucky situation where you can't spoil Deadpool and Wolverine for me because you and I were going to be in the same physical space at the same time when it comes out.
I don't spoil movies.
No, it's true.
I only spoil the comics because we happen to film this on the day they come out.
That's true. You're like, hey, did you read Batman? I'm like, not yet. It's only 4. But yeah.
Speaking, you got to go see if you can get us morning tickets on Friday. I'm totally down to go see the movie on Friday morning.
That's a good point. Yeah. I will do that. I will look.
Okay. All right, guys. We're going to wrap up today's podcast because Benny's got a reservation. He's got to go soon. So thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Benny. That is Sal. I'm from Comic Story. He's from Comic Pop. And together we are Absolute Comics, the best damn comic book podcast on Planet X. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time right here.